So welcome back students for the discussion of the questions of compound interest in which interest is payable half yearly, like this question number 1E in our assignment. Find the compound interest payable yearly and the amount on rupees 4,73,000 for 1.5 years and 4.5% per annum payable half yearly. So rate of interest is also fractional, time is also fractional, but the interest is payable half yearly. So let's start this question. So principal is rupees 4,73,000. Principal equals to rupees 4,73,000 for 1.5 years. So number of years is fractional, but 1.5 year and interest is payable half yearly. So 3/2 years. And whenever the interest is payable half yearly, it means 1 year has 2 half yearly terms. If 1 year has 2 half yearly terms, so 3/2 years have 3/2 into 2 half yearly terms. In place of year, we use terms. These terms are half yearly, as interest is payable half yearly. Now, if we discuss about rate of interest, so rate of interest is given in the question 4.5%. 4.5% per annum. So 9/2% per annum. But as the interest is payable half yearly, means we will multiply by half. So half into 9/2% half yearly. Write it clearly always. So it is again 9/4% half yearly. Means every 6 months, the bank pays the interest of 9/4% for the 3 terms. Now we use the formula for amount. Amount equals to P into, we know that 1 plus R/100 whole to the power n. So 4,73,000 into 1 plus rate of interest is 9/4. And when denominator is 100, so these two denominators will be multiplied. It is 9/400 whole to the power n means whole cube. So 4,73,000 into 400 plus 9, 409/400 whole cube, which is equal to 4,73,000 into, now 409/400 we have, means 409/400 into 409/400 into 409/400. So this is the amount which we have to find in rough. First of all, 409 whole cube we have to find. I have told you earlier that whenever you want to cancel out the terms, first write it once more, so that you can search your mistake easily if it is. As I have told you that human is made to make the mistakes. So there may be mistakes, but we have guts to find our mistakes. So 473 into 409 into 409 into 409 over 400 into 40 into 4 is in the denominator. So if you first multiply 409 into 409 into 409, that is 409 whole cube, you can also use the formula for a plus b whole cube to find it. 400 plus 9 whole cube. So 4 cube is 64 and 6 zeros after that. plus 9 cube, 9 nines are 81 nines are 729 plus 3AB. So 3 4s are 12 nines are 108, 2 zeros into 409. As we know that formula plus for a plus b whole cube is a cube, which we already have written. 4 4 is 16, 4 is 64 and 6 zeros, plus b cube means 9 cube 729 plus 3ab. So 3 4 is 12 9 is 100 and 2 0 into a plus b, so 409. So very easy to multiply 10800 with 409. 409, 8 is a 9, 8 is a 72, 4 8 is a 32, 3272. And then there is 0, so 7 will be there. 32 is carried out. So 409, ones are 409 and first 32 is 441. So 44172 and 2 zeros after that. So 200 7 1 4 4. So add them. This is 409 whole cube. 9 2 7 plus 2 9 7 1 4 8 and 6. So this is the product of 409 whole cube, and now we have to multiply it by 473, and you have to multiply by the proper method. There is no easy method to. So welcome back, students, for discussing some special cases in compound interest, like question number 14. A sum of money is lent out at compound interest for 2 years at 20% per annum. Compound interest being reckoned yearly. If the same sum of money is lent out at compound interest at the same rate, compound interest being reckoned half yearly, it would have faced rupees 482 more by way of interest. Calculate the sum of money lent out. So very important question, in which first case is there in which sum is lent out at compound interest being reckoned yearly, and in second case in which the sum is lent out at compound interest being reckoned half yearly, means it is counted half yearly, and principal is unknown. So how to start? Students have doubts mainly how to start when sum is not given. Assume the sum, that is principal, to be p and solve it by assuming it to be a known quantity. So we will form an equation in terms of p when we find the first compound interest which is being reckoned yearly in terms of p, and the second compound interest when the interest is reckoned half yearly, and clearly when the interest is reckoned half yearly, as interest is given after half year, and then that interest is added to the principal clearly for the next half year, principal is more than the principal for the yearly. So compound interest when reckoned half yearly will be always greater than the compound interest when it is reckoned yearly. Always remember, at the same sum of money for the same time, if compound interest is reckoned half yearly, it will be greater than the compound interest when it is reckoned yearly, as we already have added the principal at the middle of the year. While when reckoned half yearly, we will add the interest at the end of the year. So compound interest when reckoned half yearly will always be greater than the compound interest when reckoned yearly. And similar will be the process of solving this question. So now let's discuss it. So we read the question again. A sum of money is lent out at compound interest for 2 years, and we already know that Principal is unknown. So principal is unknown. For 2 years, means number of years is 2 years. Rate of interest is given 20% per annum. And when reckoned yearly. So first we find the amount in case first. When compound interest reckoned yearly. We use the formula amount equals to P into 1 plus R by 100 whole to the power n, which is equal to P is unknown into 1 plus rate of interest is 20 by 100, number of terms 2. So P into 1 plus, when we simplify 25 is a 100. So it is P into 6 by 5 whole square, that is 36 by 25P, which is the amount 1. We can write it as amount 1. Case second, when compound interest reckoned half yearly. So principal remains the same, but number of terms will be in 2 years. There will be 4 half years. 6 months takes place 4 times. So it is 4 terms. This time is 4 terms. Rate of interest will be halved, as yearly rate of interest is 20%. So half yearly rate of interest will be 20 by 2, that is 10% half yearly. Amount, we will denote it by A2 equals to P into, again the formula is same, 1 plus R by 100 whole to the power n. So it implies A2 equals to P into 1 plus rate of interest is halved. So it becomes 10 by 100 whole to the power 4. So it implies A2 equals to P into 11 by 10 whole to the power 4. So 11 to the power 4 is 1. Can you find it? 11 square we know that is 121. So 121 into 121 we have to find. That is 100 plus 20 plus 1 whole square. A square plus B square plus C square plus 2AB 400 again plus 2BC is 40 plus 2CA is 200. So 4 plus 4, 8 plus 2, 10, 1000. So 11,000 we write again 100 square 10,000, 20 square is 400 plus 1 square is 1, again 2AB. So it is 4,000, not 400. Okay. Now add 641. 2AB is A square is 100 plus B square 400 plus C square plus 2AB. 2 2s are 4, 3 zeros. 2AB plus 2BC 40 plus 2CA 200. Okay. So it is 14,600 and 41. 14,641 over 10,000. So amount 2 will be 14,641p upon 10,000. So if you find the and what is given to us? We are given difference between the interest, not the amounts. And we have obtained the amounts now. If you find the interest in first case, I1, we know that equals to A1 minus P. A1 is 36, P, or leave it as it is. Wait, I'm going to tell you something. And if you find I2, interest in second case, it is equal to A2 minus P. Okay. So when you find the difference between the two, means interest when reckoned half yearly is denoted by I2 and I1 means interest when reckoned yearly. Okay. In case first, we are representing everything by suffixing it by 1. A1 means amount for the case when compound interest is reckoned yearly. And A2 is the amount when the compound interest is reckoned half yearly. So I1 is the interest when compound interest is reckoned yearly. And I2 is the interest when the compound interest is reckoned half yearly. And I have already discussed that this I2 will be greater than I1. Compound interest reckoned half yearly will always be greater than the compound interest reckoned yearly. So when we use it, A2 minus P is the I2 minus A1 minus P. So it is A2 minus P minus A1 plus P. P cancelled out. So it is also equal to A2 minus A1. So always remember, difference in the interest is always equal to the difference in the amount when principals are same. In both the cases, principals are same. So difference between the interest equals to difference between the amount. So, and in the question, it is given that I2 minus I1 is 482. Difference between the two interest is given rupees 482. So this is forming an equation. When we use I2 minus I1 in place of I2 minus I1, if we use A2 minus A1 equals to 482, it implies A2 is, we have calculated 14,641 P upon 10,000 minus. You can use this result directly always, okay, by writing I2 minus I1 equals to A2 minus I1 as we have used, okay. And or you can show it also, depends on you. And A1 is 36 by 25P equals to the difference is given 482. So when you take the LCM as 10,000, 14,641 is still the same minus 36 for the 144, 25 divided 10,000 divided by 25 is 400. So when we multiply 36 by 400, it is 14,400 P equals to 482. So it is 241 P upon 10,000 equals to 482. And when we find principal, so the principal is 482 into 10 upon 241. 241 to the 482. So remaining 4 zeros will be applied. 20,000 is the principal, which is the answer. Sum of money is rupees 20,000. When the difference between the compound interest reckoned yearly for 2 years and reckoned half yearly for 2 years has the difference 482. So first we find the amount for 2 years when reckoned yearly. Second we find the amount when reckoned half yearly. And we know that difference between the interest is equal to difference between the amount, and difference between the interest I2 minus I1 is given 482. When we know that I2 is greater than I1, so it is also equal to A2 minus A1, which is 482. So when we calculate, it is giving P equals to 20,000. So principal is rupees 20,000. Very easy question. Hope you all must have understood it. Otherwise, ask your doubts in comment box.